What's up, guys? So, what I'm doing right now is my very first Zoom meeting. And the reason I'm doing it is because after 23 years, I'm trying to get my driver's license back legally. And I won't go into details, but Zoom is a very trippy thing for me. Right now, I'm not going to put a face on there. It's very interesting. I don't know if I should record myself doing it because it's actually a court proceeding, so I don't want to put people on camera. I know I might break down. I'm pretty nervous. I'm not too much of a interact. I'm an introvert, really. I do things a lot by myself. So Zooming is kind of strange. It looks like they're going through people real quick. I gotta go. Yeah, this is really weird. I think I figured it out. I had trouble for a second, but what you got to do is, you guys probably already know. But yeah. So I've done some bad things. I was driving around. I did some poor choices. I drove while I was driving, multiple offender. I went through. I did all my courses, paid all the fines, everything like that. But there was a problem with the multiple offender DUI program. I wasn't making any money at the time, and they were allowing me to go do the 18-month program, but I had to pay a certain fine or something like that at the very end of the course. But somewhere in the middle, I had made a deal with the head honcho at the time, and he totally botched it. He got fired or he left or something like that. And when I came to tell him, like, hey, I completed the program, I need the certificate to give to DMV, I couldn't get it unless I paid the money. And there was no way I could do it. I explained the whole working with Solidarity, this program, this transitional program, and they were going to just waive the fee. And it got so complicated and it got so old back in 97 that now the records are just disappeared and nobody could really do anything. I couldn't, I could never see a judge unless I committed a crime. There was no way I could see a judge. And through a kind of a in-between liaison type of group that works with complicated court systems and people that are, having trouble, getting their cases through. It's finally come to light after 23 years, let's just say. And it's a pretty big day for me. So, yeah, Zoom, but the whole thing is Zoom is very complex. I never do this stuff before, so I'm very nervous. It's weird. I'm at home, but I'm nervous. Court. I'm trying, because it's either do or die. Because either I'm going to get this settled today, or I'm just going to be in limbo with the court system forever. I'll never have a license. It's kind of like that. So it's pretty big stuff. And this is really weird. I don't know if I should put her face on, but it seems like a nice lady. She's not exposing any information, personal information. But this seems to be my judge. Check this out. That's my.
And his name is John C.
Oh yeah, I forgot about you guys. All right, this is what happened. Maybe I should have recorded it, but I'll try to put it in simplest way I can. It seems that there was a bunch of the people I was talking to was a district attorney, a couple public defender people, the court, the county court, the judge's husband. They were at home. I said her husband was laying in bed behind her. They said, because I had I was supposed to do what they call a multiple offender program, and what you're supposed to do is take an 18-month course, a DUI course, and I did it. But at the time, I was in a transitional program where you had, where I wasn't really making nothing. I was making just dirt money. I just came out of, I was cleaning up my act with alcoholism, and I was in transitional transitional program for a couple of years, and part of the deal I had with the multiple DUI people was that I would, as long as I was in transitional housing, they would waive the fees, and as long as I could prove it, and I proved it. Well, the guy that I made the deal with, he ended up getting terminated, and when the 18 months came up, and I said, okay, I want my certificate, they weren't going to give it to me until I gave them $1,200 or whatever the hell the price was, right? So now here on Zoom, they pretty much they had told me the judge was pointing her husband over there, and the district attorney, the public defender, the judge, they were all communicating around each other and saying that the company, which I'm not going to give the name of it, not going to do that, not yet. They said maybe Mr. Me should go and start, if they don't give up their his certificate. If they don't give up his certificate, maybe he should take civil action. Maybe this should go to civil court. And then that started talking. And then all of a sudden, the public defender, the DA, the judge's husband was talking. They are all colluding together, figuring out how they can go after this multiple offender program and how they breached a contract with me because they didn't fulfill the obligation to grant me my certificate, even though they made a deal with me, to deal with, thing like the financial sliding scale. And they still didn't, and from my understanding, I guess they still do, because if they still do, but they didn't award me the certificate, it put a 23-year burden on me. That's where the lawsuit comes in. And so they're saying to probably take it into a civil matter. And now it's looking like that everybody's going to get involved. I think the judge's husband, he was in the background. It was the funniest damn thing. He's in the background, just, like, hey, laying on his back, just chilling. Like, yeah, I'll take your case. And I'm like this. Hey, I'm all ears. I'm listening. You know what I mean? I mean, if I could get a couple bucks off these guys, why not? I mean, 23 years because of their fuck up, their administrative fuck up. I think the court didn't want to admit that they had something to do with it. And DMV, of course, is doing some finger pointing. They're not going to, they can care less. They're their own government. And so I think everybody's kind of let's blame, the multiple offender program. Let's blame them. Let's start pointing. Let's start getting Mr. Me to start looking in their direction and sue them. I don't know. Who knows? But I thought that was pretty interesting. So, but I guess the paperwork's going through right now, and supposedly, I'll hear something very soon. I'll get something in the mail soon saying, hey, just pay us. Because all I really have to do is pay $140 and get an SR22. Because it's so old. It hasn't changed. And so, amazing. The attorney and the public defender and the judge got together and were formulating how they can go after this multiple offender program. It was like sharks attracted to blood. You know what I mean? That's exactly how it came off. Amazing. So there you go. That's the update.